When other odd expectations were fulfilled, the recipients were gratified but not so amazed as to think her a child prodigy. Nirmala had a way of doing marvelous things in the most ordinary way possible. The same grandmother to whom she had shown the puja rites had acquired a pair of conch shell bangles, but alas, neither she nor anyone else could slide them over her rather prominent knuckles onto her arms. Such bangles are fragile and rather expensive. She then brought them to Nirmala and was very pleased when she found them gliding over easily. She did express her surprise by saying, "How could such a small hands manage to squeeze my hard knuckles? Didi, granddaughter, you are a clever girl." Another grandmother, who was a friend of her Thakurma and who was known to her as Chicken Didi, gave her the first certificate of being the best cook ever, while she was yet a very small girl. Nirmala used to cook for her sometimes and elicit such responses as, "Didi, whatever you cook tastes out of this world." Nirmala was not required to cook at home, so nobody really knew how and when she had acquired this adult art. She had, however, watched her mother and Thakurma and also helped in other ways in the kitchen. She would accompany her Thakurma when she went to gather broken dry twigs and leaves for their daily cooking. She saw that her mother carefully stored bundles of firewood against the possibility of a sudden influx of guests. When came, a proper fire was kindled on which a good meal could be cooked. Her mother was a careful housewife and she never allowed anyone to guess how straitened her means were. It was out of question for her to ask for anything from her neighbors who were family as well. The children were strictly forbidden to ask for anything and unless specifically invited to her do so, not to eat or accept sweets from anyone. Moksha Devi had a very nice sense of humor, quite free from malice, which enabled her to play all the roles required of her by Providence with quiet dignity and complete self assurance. She often used to recite a limerick to us in later years as the secret of a trouble free life. Come and go, do not stay, observe and listen, comment not, eat and accept, ask not. No troubles will come your way. Moksha Devi had a natural talent toward writing poetry. The songs that she has composed express a poignancy, a yearning toward the fulfillment of the religious aspirations of a devout heart. The child Nirmala was almost constantly with her, helping, running errands, or just talking. It may be said that after her little brothers and sisters and her Thakurma, Nirmala's closest companions were her own parents. She would sit near them and chat away, sometimes asking them questions such as these: "Ma, people speak of heaven. Is it possible to go to heaven?" "Yes, certainly. Whoever is keenly desirous of going to heaven can do so." "Do you know the way? Tell me." "Whoever has the yearning is shown the way." "What is so special about heaven?" "People say heaven when they mean God. God knows everything and He does everything for us. He is everywhere but remains untouched. We do not know this because we belong to this earth only. To go to heaven means to know about all such things. It means that Sima elicited many religious conviction by such dialogues with her elders. The times were such that people had a natural bent toward the devout way of life. It was a common village custom for wandering minstrels to go around from door to door at dawn singing Usa Kirtan. The burden of their songs would be: "A new dawn is breaking, arise. It is time to engage in the worship of God. Do not waste time in sleep," and so on.